Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Andrada. I'm a Romanian food and occasionally nature illustrator. In this video you'll see me painting these cute mushrooms. I was planning on filming the sketch process too, but I forgot. I remembered to do that only after the sketch was almost finished, so I'm sorry if you wanted to see that part too. I was actually supposed to make a nature pattern for a challenge on Instagram, and well, it just turned into this, and I wasn't in the mood of painting some other nature elements, so just decided to do this instead. After I finished the sketch, I wasn't in the mood to paint it. I had an old sketch of a cup of tea and a tart that I was planning to paint, but wasn't in the mood for that too. So what better way to decide on what to paint next than to ask my community on Instagram to choose between one and the other. So obviously, as you can see, the shroomies won, so here we are. To make this video more useful as well, I thought that I could share with you a valuable lesson I learned on motivation as a freelance illustrator. I was talking to someone I am taking a course with about this very subject. She asked us, how do we keep our motivation up and running all the time when we do projects for ourselves, and that gave me the idea of making a video about it. I've been thinking about what to say and how to say it for a couple of weeks. I wanted to make sure I really reevaluate my artistic journey so I can be as clear as possible in the video. It's very important to me to be very honest when I try to give advice, or better said, my own formula for doing things. So right from the start, I want to say that there is no such thing as being motivated to do something at all times. Something like eternal 100% motivation mode. Therefore, if you want to do the work, motivation, much like inspiration, is not a reliable source for continued effort on a daily basis. You will have times when you feel very motivated and times when this spiritual entity will just take its leave from your life without notice or any emergency contact details. So you'll just be on your own, surrounded by mountains of work. And then everything is more about managing your energy and spending energy in a productive way. However, there are things we can do to make sure that when motivation takes its leave, like a veritable ninja, you got yourself covered. One of the most basic things we can do is to have our why close by. Your why is actually your motivation in general. So when you feel highly motivated and highly inspired, your ultimate goal for your work, why you do what you do, will be clear as day. So it's the best time to write it down in your journal, have it on your vision board, in your calendars, on a permanent post-it note, on your desk or computer. It can be a letter to yourself, and so on and so forth. You know your methods. It has to be somewhere easy to access to remind you why you do the work that you do. It might not bring back your sense of motivation right away, but you won't find yourself idly contemplating at your lack of motivation. Where has it gone? Why you don't feel the drive anymore? Is this a sign that I have to give up? And all those ugly thoughts that we all have from time to time, something that seems to be happening way too often, but they're actually not happening so often. It's just that idle time and productive time are perceived differently by our minds and bodies. So, next time such thoughts spawn from the deepest corners of your mind, get your weapon ready. It happens to me quite often to forget my core motive for being an artist. So, having this written down in my work agenda is really helpful. In regards to your why, I think an important thing you could ask yourself is how much of it is based on your personal values and how much it's based on external values. Personal values could be for your own joy, sending out a positive message in the world through your work, making people happy or educating them. Basically, a deep personal meaning. External values are things like fame, followers, money for the sake of money, etc. I don't think I have to tell you how important it is to be an artist because it has a deep meaning to you. I've never heard of anyone sustaining such a lifestyle like that of an artist for their whole life with the sole purpose of making money and becoming famous. Might be just me, who knows, but I really don't know such a person exists. Something that I've noticed in my freelance journey is that I became a freelancer while still having an employee mindset. It's only natural if you've been working in a day job previously, but that gave me a lot of trouble because when you become a freelancer, you also become an employer. You become your own boss, and you might find it hard to be your own boss. You suddenly have all the tasks of a company in your own hands, so you'll need a lot of skills like giving yourself work, finding clients, doing the actual illustrations, promoting yourself through various platforms, networking, deciding your working schedule, getting the contracts ready, deciding the prices, and so many other things. It is overwhelming. Yeah, give yourself time and learn as much as you can from other artists, other more experienced artists. After 3 years, I am still figuring some of these things out myself, so I won't dive into those subjects unless I really know what I'm talking about. What I wanted to bring to attention is that we need to develop the new skill of being our own boss and to leave behind our days of being an employee who has one job given to us by others. Because it sure doesn't work that way in freelancing. Another thing that I think is very helpful is setting yourself a yearly goal. Bear in mind that you don't have to wait for January 1st to begin a new year. The first day of your new year can be as early as today, and it doesn't actually have to be yearly. Just find your own balance there. For example, one of my goals this year is to build my own website and a strong portfolio. A goal such as this can be your North Star. And having that goal in mind, you can deconstruct it so you can achieve it. If you set yourself a goal, your mind will naturally find out ways that you can achieve that goal. You're going to ask yourself questions like, what does another portfolio look like? How many illustrations would make for a good one? What kind of illustrations? And other questions like these. And besides the creative part of a goal, there's a lot of technicalities like which website provider to use, the financial implications if you want to start a YouTube channel or a Patreon, for example. There's quite a lot to think about. But your goal will give you enough small and bigger tasks to keep you occupied. And because it's an intrinsic motivation, meaning you really want to achieve that, it's going to be easier for you to remain on your path or come back to it if you find yourself a little lost. I think it's a good idea to write down a plan for your goal in whatever way you prefer. I use pen and paper and Google Calendar for my weekly overview. You can write your plan for your goal, break it down into projects, break the projects down into tasks, and so on and so forth. Personally, I don't make daily tasks as like a classic to-do list because I know that I tend to put as many things on that list as I remember, and it's just gonna turn out to be very frustrating because I won't be able to do them all in a day. I usually break down my day into for example, 3 hours of illustration, 3 hours of video editing, or something like that. And I set myself one rule: everything in my weekly schedule can change. I don't have to put that pressure on myself that I absolutely have to accomplish things exactly how I wrote down in my calendar. I take into consideration my daily energy levels. Sometimes I will wake up from a poor sleep and I know I won't have the right amount of energy or the kind of energy to paint all day. I'll just go and choose other tasks. The idea is that a big goal gives you enough work to stay focused, to follow your North Star, but also to juggle between tasks with more ease. You still have to accomplish all of them to reach your goal, even if today you'd rather edit a video or some drawings than come up with new ideas. Thinking in projects helps me stay focused. When I finish a project, I start another one, be it client work or work for myself. I find it easier to motivate myself if I work from project to project. It's more helpful to me to see the bigger picture first, have a nice mental panoramic view of what I want to see at the end of a project, and then go through it step by step. I write down all of the steps and then give myself a little heart for each completed step. I used to be very rigid with my tasks and my schedule when I started freelancing because that's how I have been working until then in my office job. But in freelance, things are more loose. You have downtimes when you work on your project and you can push the deadline further and further if need be. Then all of a sudden you might get a client and you have to put a stop to your work and get on with the client project. That's why getting into a more flexible working mindset might be very helpful to you as a freelance artist. It's practically a dance between routine and flexibility. Another thing that helps is having a kind of support group or connecting with other artists on social media platforms that you enjoy, or even face to face, virtual or real meetings with other artist friends. Personally, I support artists on Patreon, and they have Discord channels where you can talk and ask for advice and feedback, and you can form really nice relationships with other like-minded people. You can participate in challenges and even engage your audience in your process by hosting your own challenges. Freelancing can be kind of a lonely and independent activity, but there are ways to avoid loneliness by reaching out to people. I know most of us artists like to be alone more than other people, but we are still going to need to engage with others, share experiences, worries, ideas. I personally find it so motivating to work with other artists from time to time or participate in their challenges and ask for feedback and meet other amazing artists. One other tip could be to not spread yourself too thin. I mean, if you think that you can manage only one or two social media platforms, focus on those. Don't make accounts on too many social media platforms because posting takes time and engaging with your audience takes time, and it will get overwhelming pretty quickly. If you have client work, make sure you are not open for commissions at the same time, or close your online shop if you have to dedicate your whole time to the client project. Start small, keep it simple, and take on more work as you go, as you learn, if you feel like you can and want to do that. That being said, another truth I have to share is that all of these are going to take you time, and maybe lots of time. Sometimes we see fellow artists managing to become popular very quickly, but that doesn't mean it's going to be your story too. So, be kind and patient with yourself. Trust yourself, trust your why, and take everything one step at a time. Take good care of your physical and mental health too. Don't underestimate these two because they play a major role in your productivity. When you feel overwhelmed, take a break, take a few steps back, look at the whole picture, and decide what's best for you and your business. It's better to avoid comparing your artistic journey with that of other artists. Okay, so these are the tips and thoughts I wanted to share with you today. I would appreciate it very, very much if you let me know if you enjoy this type of content from me, or should I just do something else. Thank you very much for watching and or listening until the end. If you like this one, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, I invite you to watch some of my other videos, and if you find my content to be for your taste, consider subscribing to my channel. I am trying to find a way to have a more regular posting schedule, but I've been dealing with various health issues lately due to stress. That's why I really encouraged you to take good care of your physical and mental health earlier. Also, I was supposed to post a vlog with material from my trip to visit my brother, and illustrations is inspired by what we ate and drank during that time instead of this painting process, but I still need to get to the illustrating part of the business. Again, thank you very much for watching and listening to me give my 2 cents on motivation as a freelance artist. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Take care. Bye bye.